Hello, my beautiful Leos, and welcome to your reading. Today's reading is going to be all about your July 2020 predictions, okay? So we are going to dive in and see what the month of July has in store for you, okay? So I have gone ahead and shuffled your cards, and we're actually going to start with your tarot cards before we go into your oracle cards, all right? So if you do enjoy this video, I want to say please go ahead and consider giving it a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay updated anytime I upload future videos like this. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's see what your tarot cards have for the month of July. So the first one we have is the Knight of Swords in reverse. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse, the Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords in reverse. Okay, so Leo, what do we got going on here? Let's see. This is pretty interesting. Okay, so I'm going to read this more so like this is the beginning and end of the month. So this will be kind of like middle of the month, beginning and end, okay? So let's start here with the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is interesting when it shows up because this is all about something kind of coming almost like to head where there might be some bit of like stagnation, or excuse me, not stagnation, kind of like a stall or something that's kind of, like requiring your attention, but it's almost like you're ignoring it or not wanting to really pay attention to it. This can also be indicating that you're like mentally closed off from this situation, okay, whatever this may be. So if there is a situation in which you find at the beginning of the month that you've maybe putting off, maybe addressing or dealing with, this is something that is going to be almost at the forefront of, not necessarily your thoughts, because I feel like at the beginning you're going to be more so kind of putting this or trying to push this off as much as possible, or putting it off to the back of your mind, like, oh no, I'll get to it when I get to it. But it is going to be a situation that does require some sort of action, okay? So whatever the situation is, Leo, it's causing you to, address it. And for some of you, I see that it's almost like you would rather not. You're like, nope, if it's out of sight, out of mind, I don't want to have to deal with it, okay? Now, you have the Ace of Wands here in reverse, and this is all about, having these ideas, ambitions, dreams. Like this is very much like the beginning stage of making kind of like your manifestation happen. But when it's in the reverse, there's like some delays here. Okay. And this usually indicates that it's because it's more so like in the dreaming stage, like you've got these ideas, but you don't really know how to execute them, or you don't really know how to make it happen. But ideally, it would be great if you did, this or that, okay? Now, the wands do typically tend to deal with our creativity, our passions, okay? So this could be a creative endeavor in which maybe you've considered, actually putting into practice, or, maybe even making it like a business or something, like a side thing, like a side hustle almost. But it's almost like you're not quite sure how you're going to get it off the ground, okay? Now, the Two of Pentacles here is all about trying to bring things into balance. Now, I feel like for a lot of you, this could very well be dealing with a financial situation, or a situation that does require you making extra money, okay? So if you have this idea in which you're wanting to bring to light, whether this is starting a side business, or taking on a second job or a part-time job just to do something, just to bring in a second source of income, that is definitely a potential I see. But I feel like you're not quite sure how you're going to make it work, but you want to. Like I see like there is a definite balance there for sure. But it's almost like, okay, how do I make this happen? Okay, so I definitely see that for you guys mid-month, okay? Now, The end of the month, this is really interesting. So the Nine of Swords here. Anytime the Nine of Swords comes up, this tells me that there is something weighing very heavy on your mind, okay? Because the swords do deal with our thoughts, okay? And when the Nine of Swords pops up, this means that there's a lot weighing on your mind. And sometimes it's to the point where you can't really control what you're thinking. It's like you've been maybe putting it off for as long as you could, or you're trying to not really think about it, but you can't help but think about it, okay? And when it's in the reversal, it's almost like you're at this like mental anguish, like you don't really know how to make sense of everything because it's constantly weighing on you. So at the end of the month, this could be something in which you're having to maybe address head on. Maybe it could have been the situation that you've been maybe, I don't want to say necessarily ignoring, but that you've been refusing to really put in much thought into at the beginning of the month, okay? This could mean that it has kind of carried over into the end of the month, and this is really having a serious effect on you. So Leo, I would definitely, if you don't like the sound of that, what I would, encourage is at the beginning of the month, if you find yourself in a similar situation, maybe address it head on. So then that way this doesn't carry on over to the end of the month. Okay. Remember, these readings are not definitive, meaning you have the power to change anything that you don't like. Okay. So if you're finding something that you're like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with that, or I don't want to have it like eat at me because I didn't deal with the situation, you can make those changes. Like I said, this doesn't have to be exact. So just kind of take this as, the message that you needed to hear and find a way to be able to turn this around so that way you can kind of meet it head on, so to speak. Okay. So let's take a look at your other oracle cards and we can see what other messages we have. So for your Moonology Oracle, we have full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. Ooh, I like this. Okay. So yes, even though there might be some things up in the air, definitely know that conclusions are within reach. So you have the power and the potential, to solve the situation, whatever it may be. Okay. Next, we have take time to breathe out. Okay. So this is the decimating moon. So yes, definitely take time for yourself, breathe, relax. Okay. Like I said, with this Nine of Swords here in reverse, this is really going to weigh heavy on you guys. Like I don't know exactly what the situation is talking about specifically, but what I can say, because obviously this is going to mean differently for different people as this is a general reading, but what I can say is I do see a lot of this kind of weighing on you guys. So definitely give yourself the time to breathe, relax, to think things through a little bit more clearly, and I think things will start to make a little bit more sense for you guys. Okay. All right, so the next cards we have dreaming. Gifts, receiving, and dreams. Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of possible daydreaming or dreaming going on about here. So, definitely, listen to your dreams. I think for this month, if you're finding that you have these ideas, these dreams that keep popping up, find a way to make it into reality, especially if it's speaking to your creativity, to your inner passions. Really listen to that. Okay. Next, we have adventure. Experience, taking risks, wish. So for a lot of you, this month is going to be, I think, speaking more so to like what you're wishing for, what you're wanting to achieve. Okay. That Two of Pentacles is there, like I said, all about trying to, restore balance or trying to, balance everything around you. And sometimes that does involve you kind of taking a risk that maybe you wouldn't normally consider. So again, really kind of listen into your intuition, and that will kind of help guide you in the direction in which you will feel most secure in or most successful in. Okay. Next, we have 11th house. You've got a friend. Friends are a blessing in life. Reconnect with old ones. Open your heart to new ones. Oh, I love this. Okay. So for the month of July, Leos, this might also be a really good time for you to reconnect with your friends, old ones and new ones. Okay. So, especially with the, stuff that's kind of weighing on your mind at the beginning, at the end of the month, this might be a really good time for you to just kind of let go, reconnect, kind of focus on, you know, others, and just like, I would say, kind of take in that positive energy, just because I see like there is so much kind of weighing on you that this might be a really good thing to kind of relax your mind, and kind of gain some clarity as well. Okay. All right. So the next we have is balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so again, speaking to that Two of Pentacles, so all about balance. Definitely, I think the theme for the month is trying to find balance. And we have discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Absolutely. Leos, you guys are strong. Like, you guys are very, very strong creatures. Like, you guys, if you put your mind to it, you're driven, you're motivated, like you can get things done. Okay. So definitely listen to that. Like, remind yourselves of how disciplined you are. Okay. Sometimes I get it. We get into those like mental funks, and it's hard to kind of like get ourselves out of that, especially when there's like a lot going on, or things in which maybe we don't even want to give our time and attention to. But this, I think, is a good thing in a way. This is going to get you to where you want to be. Okay. You just kind of have to address those situations that maybe you've been putting off. Okay. And that will require some discipline for sure on your part. Okay. So let's see what else we have. We have explore your options. It's time to look at other possibilities. It's a good time to make changes. Ooh, absolutely. Definitely make changes, I think, for the better. We have yes, your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. Yes, so really listen to that intuition, guys, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, like once you're able to like really listen to what your intuition is trying to tell you, you'll be able to know which action or which course you need to take to get to where you want to be, okay? And then we have rest. You've been working hard. Take a nap and get some rest. Yes, absolutely. Anytime I see that Nine of Swords, I forgot to mention this earlier, but that's honestly what this kind of reminds me of, is like needing to take a break, needing to get some rest because of like the mental anguish that kind of takes over. It's a really good time to just kind of give yourself a timeout, really just take a breather, take a drive, go somewhere, just clear your mind, clear your thoughts, because the longer that you allow it to kind of eat at you, the harder it is to get away from it, or the harder it is to really kind of see things clearly. So definitely give yourself the rest that you need. Self-care is very, very important. All right, next we have perseverance. Stay the course. Absolutely. So kind of stay on track with everything. Next we have patience. The tide will come in when it's ready. Okay, so yes, definitely have patience, especially during this time. I know it can be a little difficult, especially when things just kind of seem a little all over the place. And reflect. Peer into the endless ocean and see what peers back. Ooh, this is powerful. So yeah, Leos, this might also be a really good time to do some self-reflection, okay? In trying to not only discipline your mind, discipline yourself in trying to regain a sense of balance. This is going to also be a time for you to kind of do a little bit of self-reflection, okay? Reflect on the things in which maybe do require your attention, things that maybe you really haven't been paying attention to, okay? Those of you will know exactly what that means with that Knight of Swords in reverse, okay? But in doing so, like I said, this will kind of get you that sense of clarity that you need in order to make those dreams into realities with that Ace of Wands, okay? So Leos, that was your reading. Definitely let me know in the comment section below if this resonated with you. I would love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and consider giving it a thumbs up. It truly helps out the channel like you wouldn't believe. And I want to thank you again so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.